Question number 11 is an electromagnetic spectrum question. The diagram represents the electromagnetic spectrum. Some regions have been labelled and some labels are missing. Which regions should be labelled as infrared waves? Again, here there's not much understanding. It's more about memory than understanding itself. So they've given you radio waves, they've given you visible light, they've given you gamma rays, so they've given you the extremes. And basically, what would happen in the visible region is it would be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, then ultraviolet at C. Therefore, infrared is next to red. So the answer would be B for ball. Question number 12. The diagram shows an object in front of a plane mirror. At which labelled position is the image of the object formed? Well, if that's your object there, its image will be the exact same distance at the other side of the mirror. So therefore, the answer here would be B for ball. Now, a lot of students get confused with things like A. Stand in front of a mirror. If you bring your nose right up to the mirror, then your nose is right at the other side of the mirror. If you start walking away from that mirror, it looks like your image is walking away from the mirror. Okay, so basically the object distance to the mirror and the image distance to the mirror should be exactly the same. That's why the answer was B. Question number 13. A singer sings two notes. The first note is louder and lower in pitch than the second note. So louder, bigger amplitude, lower in pitch, smaller frequency. So which statement about the two notes is correct? Well, if you're comparing them, the first note has a larger amplitude and a smaller frequency than the second note. The answer is B for ball. Question number 14. Which list contains only transverse waves? So we're looking for light waves here, and the only one that doesn't have sound waves involved, because sound is longitudinal, is B for ball. And in B for ball, they are all light waves: infrared, light waves, and ultraviolet. Number 15, which group contains only electromagnetic waves? Very similar to the previous question, just different words. Again, we're looking for light waves or electromagnetic waves, and not necessarily visible. So 15 is A. Number 16, another electromagnetic question, spectrum question. The diagram shows the electromagnetic spectrum. A word is missing from the label in the below spectrum. So what's happening here? Well, as I've mentioned before, high frequency is gamma, which means smaller wavelength, and low frequency is radio, which means larger wavelength. So what we're looking for is wavelength here. The answer is D for donkey. Question number 17, which diagram correctly shows a ray of light reflected by a plane mirror? Well, you're looking for something where the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Quite clearly it's not A. And here quite clearly it's not B, because it's effectively the same as A, just not giving you the appropriate angles. It is quite clearly D for donkey, because if this is 50, that's 40, and that's 40. So the answer to 17 is D. A candle flame is placed in front of a loudspeaker. The loudspeaker produces a sound wave that causes air particles to vibrate. The vibrating air particles make the candle flame vibrate in the same direction as the air particles. Which row shows the direction of vibration of the candle flame and the nature of sound waves? Well, sound waves are longitudinal, and they vibrate parallel to the direction of travel. So we're looking for something that moves left and right and is longitudinal. So the answer is C. Question number 19. The diagram shows water waves that move more slowly after passing into shallow water. Which diagram shows what happens to the waves? Well, if you're going into shallow water and it's telling you that it's going to move more slowly, then surely the waves will be closer together, they'll be bunched up. And if it goes from deep to shallow at an angle, they will also change direction. So the only waves that are bunched up are in C and D, and the only ones that are changing direction there is C, because of the nature of how it's hitting at an angle. So the answer to question 19 is in fact C. How do infrared waves differ from ultraviolet waves? Well, they're both light waves. Incidentally, infrared has a larger wavelength and therefore a smaller frequency compared to ultraviolet. Therefore, the answer to 20 is C.